What would happen if humanity had to leave Earth in just 1 year? Well, first of all, panic. Not the calm, organized kind of panic you see in disaster movies where people line up politely for the escape shuttles, but the messy, internet meme-fueled, everyone yelling on, Twitter kind of panic. Politicians would argue, scientists would shout, billionaires would start trademarking names like New Earth Trademark, and regular people would wonder if their cats could handle zero gravity. The short answer is, most of us wouldn't make it. That's not very comforting, so let's look at the longer, more complicated, and slightly funnier version. Imagine the world waking up tomorrow to the news that Earth has exactly 12 months left. Maybe the sun is throwing a tantrum, or an asteroid the size of Australia is coming straight at us. Whatever the reason, the planet has an expiration date. Suddenly, every conversation turns into a space evacuation plan. Netflix, canceled, vacations, postponed, school homework, pointless. Your teacher can't really convince you to care about algebra when the entire species has to learn how to build a spaceship as the new curriculum. The first problem would be logistics. There are about 8 billion of us. That's a lot of boarding passes. Even if every rocket company on Earth worked day and night, the math is cruel. Rockets are big, expensive, and they don't exactly grow on trees. Unless someone figures out how to strap jet engines to the Eiffel Tower and call it a spaceship, there simply aren't enough seats. Politicians would immediately begin arguing over who gets to go. Spoiler, if you don't have billions of dollars, a PhD in rocket science, or at least a very cute TikTok account, you're probably not on the list. Then comes the question of where we're going. Mars? It's close-ish, but we already know it's dusty, cold, and has all the hospitality of a broken refrigerator. The moon? Nice view, but no air, no water, and absolutely no Wi-Fi. Maybe a space station orbiting somewhere? Great idea, until you realize we'd need a space station the size of Texas to house everyone. Realistically, most of humanity would have to squeeze into hastily built arks. Giant, barely tested ships cobbled together from international cooperation, duct tape, and sheer desperation. Food would be another nightmare. Farming in space isn't just sticking a carrot in a pot and hoping for the best. You need hydroponics, artificial light, recycled water, and a serious plan to stop mold from taking over your spaceship and declaring itself captain. Imagine a world where the only menu is endless variations of space potato French fries? Yes. Mashed potatoes? Sure. Potato sushi? Why not? You're in orbit and desperate. Social life wouldn't be much easier. On Earth, if your neighbor plays music too loud, you can knock on their door. In space, if your neighbor annoys you, you're stuck breathing the same recycled air for decades. Conflicts would escalate fast. Historians might someday record the Great Space Karaoke War of 2027, when one person's obsession with singing at 3 a.m. nearly tore a spaceship community apart. Technology would also betray us. Machines break, and in space, you can't just call a repair guy. The repair guy is you, or maybe the nervous teenager who once fixed his Xbox and now gets promoted to chief engineer of life support. People would have to become instant experts in everything: plumbing, physics, botany, and psychology. Survival would mean everyone pretending to be part-time MacGyvers. And then there's the psychological toll. Earth is more than just land and air. It's home. The smell of rain, the sound of waves, the feel of grass under your feet. None of that fits into a rocket. Humanity would experience the largest case of homesickness in history. Space therapy sessions would be booked solid. Doctor, I keep dreaming of cheeseburgers and sunsets. Now let's imagine the small group of lucky humans who do make it off Earth. They're cramped in enormous arcs drifting toward Mars or some other target. They're alive, but their mission is less, let's start fresh, and more, please don't let the air filters break. The first generation would probably spend their entire lives fixing leaks, rationing food, and arguing about whose turn it is to clean the compost toilet. Romance would still happen, of course, because if history has taught us anything, it's that humans will flirt even at the end of the world. Babies would be born in space, becoming the first true space kids. They would grow up thinking Earth was just a story their parents made up, like Santa Claus. Except instead of toys, it was oceans, trees, and breathable air. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the unlucky billions left behind would face the slow countdown with resignation, courage, or denial. Some would party until the lights went out. Others would pray, and a few stubborn optimists would keep planting gardens as if the sun weren't about to barbecue the planet. In the grand scheme of things, humanity's forced evacuation would be chaotic, tragic, and absurdly funny all at once. We'd complain about the food, fight over seats, post sarcastic memes from orbit, and somehow, against all odds, some of us would survive. Not because we're particularly wise or organized, but because we're incredibly stubborn. We don't like losing, not even to the universe itself. So, what would happen if humanity had to leave Earth in 1 year? Billions would be left behind, millions would fight to escape, and a handful might carry our story into the stars. It would be messy, heartbreaking, and ridiculous, but maybe, just maybe, it would also be the beginning of something new. After all, the first step to becoming a spacefaring species isn't comfort. It's sheer desperation, duct tape, and the hope that somewhere out there, we can find another place to call home.